Leviticus chapter 19 verses 1-2, and 17-18. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the whole Israelite community and tell them, Be holy, for I, the Lord, your God, am holy. You shall not bear hatred for your brother or sister in your heart. Though you may have to reprove your fellow citizen, do not incur sin because of him. Take no revenge and cherish no grudge against any of your people. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord." The word of the Lord. Verses 1 and 2, the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the whole Israelite community and tell them, Be holy, for I, the Lord, your God, am holy." What does the word, holy mean? In the highest sense, holiness belongs to God alone. Revelation chapter 15 verse 4, "Who will not fear you, Lord, or glorify your name? For you alone are holy, holy." Easton's Bible Dictionary defines personal holiness as a work of gradual development. It is carried on under many difficulties, hence the frequent admonitions to watchfulness, prayer, and perseverance. Leviticus chapter 19 verse 17, "You shall not bear hatred for your brother, or sister in your heart. Though you may have to reprove, forcefully warn, or admonish, your fellow citizen, do not incur sin because of him. You, yourself, invite sin because of your hatred." Verse 18, "But you shall love your neighbor as yourself," is probably the best known sentence in the Bible. Jesus quoted it in Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5 verse 43, in his conversation with the rich, young lawyer, Matthew 19:19, and in the parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke 10:27. Jesus also referred to it as the second commandment in his answer to the lawyer's question, which is the great commandment in the law. Matthew 22:36. When Jesus quoted this verse in Matthew 5:43, he said, "You shall love your neighbor, and hate your enemy." This appears to be a misquote because of the addition of "hate your enemy," but is merely a reference to how people of Jesus' time had interpreted the passage. Luke 10:25-28, "And behold, a lawyer stood up to put him to the test, saying, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said to him, What is written in the law? What do you read there? And he answered, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. And he said to him, You have answered right, do this, and you will live." Proverbs 17:21, "He who despises his neighbor is a sinner, but happy is he who is kind to the poor." How do you love your neighbor as yourself? By helping others, by showing people mercy, true demonstration of loving your neighbor. Luke 10:29-37 tells the story of the Good Samaritan. A man on his way to Jericho was beaten and stripped of all he had. A priest, a Levite, passed by but did nothing to help him. Then a Samaritan, a person thought by Jews as an unworthy half-breed, was the only one to stop and help the injured man. Jesus then ends the story with this question. Luke 10:36-37, "Which of these three, do you think, proved neighbor to the man who fell among the robbers? He said, The one who showed mercy on him. And Jesus said to him, Go and do likewise. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy.